it's good to be back. It's good to be back. It's good to be back in a tailgate downtown. It's good to be back in a tailgate downtown.
Welcome back to Tailgate TV, where we once again have a great friend of the show, wonderful guest here with us. Who do we have here, Brad?
We have Doug Lawrence, entrepreneur, hunter, storyteller, and as you said, Cody, a great friend of the show. We appreciate Doug so much. But, Doug's involved with so many things. The Chamber of Commerce, Prepcast, taxidermy. He's coached, continues to coach, which we appreciate because, boy, passing on that knowledge to young people in sports and life is so important on really every level of their lives. I know you do, and I do. I look back at my life and I think about coaches I had and the stuff they taught me. That
good and bad.
Oh, absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. And there's always coaches I look back up and I go, wow, I appreciated him getting on to me or whatever because it helped me to learn some things that you can't learn when you're young if you're not really getting taught those kind of things. Right. And obviously, our dads taught us certain things, but boy, being in that really tough place of when you're playing sport, there's always tough moments, and coaches are so instrumental in trying to get you through those things.
They are, and I think one of the things I've learned about coaching over the years is because I've been doing it since 97, 98, something like that. This is when I started coaching at eight-man football and then baseball at Miami. Is that probably for a lot of years I was too nice, and I don't mean that I was never mean. I've never been mean, but just sometimes the best coaches are the ones that really don't care what you think about them.
Right.
They just know their sport and they know what they're doing. I kind of wanted to be liked, and I realized years later that it's not so much the liking is not so much the emotional thing. It's like I've had some coaches that were real butts, to say the least, but I learned from them. And then I've had coaches that really I don't care why we're in this moment. I don't care about feelings. I don't care about anything. I just care about this game. And I think sometimes that's taken wrong.
Absolutely.
By the kids, by parents, by
absolutely.
everybody. But I've never met a coach, even the bad coaches, I never met a coach that really didn't care about you.
Oh, absolutely. Well, they're in it for a reason. I mean, it's not the money.
Right. And I mean, even, coaches that had their favorites, coaches that were, I don't know, just butts.
Sure.
I mean, that's the only way. That's the only way I can say it. And then, and they cared about winning, but there was something about them. They're really good coaches that can get right in your grill and stay there. And when the game's over, the switch is off, and you're back to being a friend.
Yeah.
And I'm still not real good at it after 20, however many years that is.
Sure.
I'm still not real good at just. But I also know the older I get, the less I care.
Sure. Sure.
I mean, about how I'm perceived.
Sure. Right.
As long as you understand that what I want from you is your very best, and I want the best from you, physically, mentally, and spiritually. I mean, that's so important to me. It's always been important to me since I began. Is what is your spiritual life?
Right.
I mean, that's been real, even in a public school or whatever you want to say.
Sure.
Because at the end of the day, what we're doing as coaches is we're creating young men.
That's right.
I mean, that's what you said.
Yeah.
And unfortunately today, fortunately for me, I had a great father.
Right.
Unfortunately for a lot of kids today, maybe they don't.
Right. Right.
And so, and I think in not having that, they don't understand discipline, and they don't understand that sometimes my demeanor is because I love you, not because I
right exactly.
Anyway.
Well, we had Coach Webb on in our last episode, and one of the things that he talked about, because we talked to him about how do you get the kids to buy in so quickly? Because his first year,
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah.
So, and he talked about the trust that he has when he tells them the truth.
Yes.
Not what they want to hear, what they need
Yes.
to hear, because it's amazing how resilient kids are when they really know that you care about them
Sure.
and that you're being honest with them.
Yes.
And, he told a story about that he had a young man, and I thought it was revealing. He doesn't necessarily put running backs in their spot.
Right.
He lets them kind of, pick where they want to be.
Right.
But this young man was like, I want to run the ball. He's like, no, we need this kid to run the ball. That was a big lesson for that young man. I love that he wanted the ball, but coach was honest enough with him to say, you're not the right person at the right time.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm not going to turn this into a spiritual thing, but
Well,
I did a leadership class one time with my football team, and I took the seniors and a captain from each grade level, and we had meetings.
Right.
We just get together and we learn to be leaders. 'Cause
sure.
We always ask kids and individuals in the community to be leaders that know nothing about leadership.
That's right.
And so my example was always Jesus. Jesus told the truth.
Absolutely.
I mean, when you did something wrong, he said, that's not right. Don't do that.
That's right.
And when you did something great, he was there, and he was always there. And no matter how he explained the truth to you, somehow you knew he was loved. You were loved,
Absolutely.
and you knew that you could trust him and follow him. And that's what leaders have to be. Leaders have to be, hey, here it is. This is the honest truth. And I'm telling you that because I love you, not because,
Right.
I just want to point out your faults.
Right.
And I think that's where we get in trouble, is a lot of times I wanted to just point out your faults.
Yeah. Well, and that truth and love combination
Yeah.
is such a hard line to walk. But, I, not getting too far into it, but I read a book once called Walking in No Man's Land. And it's kind of that, we hunker down on one side or the other.
Yep.
And there's that middle ground that people don't want to walk in because it's so hard.
Yep.
You want to be loved, or you want to just be, some jerk who just tells the truth and doesn't care about people's feelings.
Right.
But there is a middle ground there, and that's where we're supposed to live. Obviously it's very critical in coaching, but even outside of that, bigger than that in life, walking that line is very important to do.
Yep.
And one thing coming from coaching is, kind of shifting, you do get so many great stories. You interact with so many kids throughout your coaching career. And I've heard that you have one heck of a story about maybe somebody mishearing something, misunderstanding something. What's up with that?
I've got 100 of those.
Happens often, you say.
Yeah, it happens a lot. I think the story you're alluding to is I was coaching junior high football here in Butler, and I was just assistant coach. I was kind of helping with the linemen and whatever. And so we had a starting team out on the field, and we're in the middle of a football game, and we're on let's see, got to remember how it was. We were on defense, and all of a sudden this kid that's like third string just goes out on the field, and the starter comes off. And I looked at the coaches. I said, "Did you put him in?" And they said, "No." And I said, I went down the line. I said, "Well," I grabbed the starter and I said, "Get in there and get him out." And he come trotting back over to the sideline. And I said, "Why did you go in?" He goes, "He put me in." I said, "Who put you in?" And he said, "That guy." And he pointed across the field. And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "That guy says 77 in a tackle." And so he just run in a tackle.
He was number 71, and he thought,
okay, well, I'll play tackle.
yeah.
So, yeah.
So the announcer calls out the man who made the tackle,
Yeah.
and he thought, "Hey, I'm in a tackle. Great. I've been waiting for this my whole life."
Yeah, the PA guy said 77 in on the tackle, and he thought into tackle. And so he went in and played tackle.
It's one of those, if you have a chance, take it. That was his chance. He seized the moment.
I think it worked out better for Fran Tarkington than for
Right.
this young man. And I said, well, from now on, unless I tell you to go in, let's just stay right here, okay?
I just think that's an awesome story. I've heard it before, and it is as good the next time as it was the first time. Because I tell you what And as a coach, right, I can just imagine you going, what in the world?
Because we were like on the goal line.
Right.
I mean, it was right down there. I was like, what is he doing?
Big package.
I was like, I turned around to the coach. I said, did you put him in?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, that's funny.
They were looking at me like, did you put him in?
Yeah, he's coach. So such a funny story, and every coach, we had Coach Webb on, we had other ones on, and they had stories, and that some of them were on air, some were off air. So funny.
Well, and it reminds me, and I don't know if you want to share or not, but I'm going to push you to of two of my favorite coaching stories. One of them is that one, and the other one comes from you. I'll just let you share.
And
I'm sure you know what story I'm alluding to.
I wasn't coaching. I was an assistant coach when we were, me and Nick Schweitzer were coaching fourth grade basketball, girls, and we were at Rich Hill, and we were playing down there, and my team had played, and so, because we had to split into two teams because we had so many girls out, and so Nick was coaching the second game, and I was sitting right behind the group of girls so I could help him, when I could. And
such a helpful guy.
Well, Nick is standing up and he's, doing his coaching thing, doing a great job. The girls were that solid group of girls. And of course, you want to get everybody in, and in that youth league, you need to get everybody in. I think it's part of the rules that they have to play so much. And so he turns around to sub a young lady, and she's sitting on the end of the bench eating a hot dog with a Coke in her hand and popcorn and I think a candy bar. And he looks, and the look on Nick Schweitzer's face, his jaw drops and goes, "What are you doing?" And she goes, "I was hungry." And he's like, and he looks at me, "Did she leave and go to the snack bar?" I'm like, "No." And her grandfather brought in her some food for her, and I was like, "My goodness sakes!" He's like, "You need to put that down, get in the game." But it's just amazing, right?
It's funny, especially with the young kids. Parker was playing softball. I think it was her first year of pitching or something, and this little girl got hit in the hand by the ball, and she started bawling. She came over and sat down on the bench. She goes, "What kind of sport was to hurt a little girl?"
Well, not to run on stories, but my daughter played softball, t-ball, when she was younger, and I got her to play 1 year, and she didn't want to play anymore. Because right when it was time for her to go up to bat, she had to go to the bathroom, and I wouldn't let her go to the bathroom because it was time for her to bat. And she was like, "I'm done with that sport. No, not doing that no more."
Got it.
So I ruined that whole
That's the
thing.
sport I want to play.
Yeah,
UTI because Dad wants me to bat.
I'm never going to make it to the MLB, but I'll make it to the UTI. Well, and I tell you, the most amazing thing about the story with the young lady eating was you said something very critical in that story. You said Nick Schweitzer was coaching and doing a good job. Nick's a good friend of the show.
Nick did a good job. He helped me a couple of years, I think, and was a lot of good help. I appreciate it.
It's hard to find these days.
It is, and so. You've coached several places, coached different sports at different places, which is good, and obviously something that's great. But you also enjoy hunting. I know you're a duck hunter. Yeah. This time of year, it's starting to amp up. Deer hunting.
Yeah, I was getting ready to get going. I don't usually bow hunt during this time of the year because I like it, and when you get out there in the heat and the skeeters and all that kind of stuff, it's just. There's no fun involved.
Right, it makes it not fun to do it, is it? No, I agree. But a lot of deer moving this time of year.
Yeah, there are, and now's the time if you want to go out there and get that partially velveted buck, or sometimes you can still find, and they're not broke up right now. The horns aren't broke up right now. If you're looking for trophies, which is basically what I hunt, to be honest with you.
Right.
But yeah, and not very well, but that's what I hunt.
I say my wife and I went for a drive the other day, and boy, we saw, I think 15 or 16 deer, and I think half of them were bucks, which surprised me.
I need to know where you went for a drive at.
I did.
We need to have that discussion.
I don't remember that is where we went.
Privileged information.
Yeah, exactly right. But and along with doing the duck hunting, the deer hunting, taxidermy work, and that is getting, boy,
Yeah.
I don't know, December.
Yeah.
You've got to be just inundated with people.
Yeah, I can be. Yeah, and the last couple of years I've been behind, just personal reasons and stuff, family and that sort of thing. Got way behind, and I apologize to anybody that's got stuff out of my shop, but I'm getting that all caught up, and we'll probably be pretty ready to go this year.
Good. Start taking in some
by
people.
December,
Yeah, that's good.
Because I know a lot of guys around here get full pretty quick. With
Yes.
what they're taking in.
Sure.
Anyway, but yeah, it's something that it's one of my many hats that I'm trying to get fixed and to really get involved in that, because I love doing it. It's the art part of it I really like, and that sort of thing. So I love doing it. And
Be Still Taxidermy, right?
Be Still Taxidermy, and that's what it's all about. Is just, I want you to be still and think that thing moved. If you sit still enough, I want you to think it moved. And obviously, most importantly, I want you to know that there's a God that created that trophy just for you.
Absolutely.
That deer was born for you. And so I think that's cool to be able to look at that and be reminded that God enjoys watching you be successful and enjoy what you're doing.
Absolutely. Deer, and you do a great job with the taxidermy work, but those deer on your wall, again, we talk about stories with coaching. Boy, those stories, and the hunting stories and the different things. Oh,
I want to hear
great.
the story when you bring it in.
Right.
I really want to hear that part, and I really get a kick out of when it's a kid that gets to bring it in and stuff. I really enjoy that. So.
We've talked about this before too. When you take a kid to the first baseball game, and Royal Stadium again, maybe biased because that was the first really major league ballpark that I went to. But when you walk into Kauffman Stadium, I call it Royal Stadium, but Kauffman Stadium, and you break the shadow of the seats or the upper level, when you break that shadow and you can finally see the field, it is spectacular.
Yeah, it is.
And to look on those little kids' face as they see it for the first time is it's worth the price of expensive tickets. As they all are.
And deer hunt the same way. If you've ever had, I was so blessed to have my son when he was younger, 12, 13, in the tree stand with me when he killed his first deer.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. It was really, really cool. And it was really cool.
Yeah.
Remember when I killed my first deer, I had to argue with my dad that I'd actually killed it.
He couldn't believe it?
Couldn't believe it.
Oh.
Surprise, surprise. Hunting had a 410. It was a longer shot than it probably should have been with the 410, and dropped it, or shot it, didn't drop it.
Right. They're hardy.
Ran off, took off.
Of course.
Went, didn't find any blood, didn't find nothing. He starts looking at me. He said, "How'd you miss that?" I said, "I didn't." He said, "Oh, you missed it." I said, "I promise I didn't." And I'm like in tears. I'm a little kid, and I'm like Dad doesn't believe me, and I know I didn't miss the shot. Well, he said, "There's no blood." Deer ran like, "You missed it." "Dad, I promise I didn't miss it." We walk up to the truck. The truck's, 150, 200 yards off. We walk up to the truck. The deer's laying next to the truck dead. And I remember we get
if
there.
you could train a deer to do that,
I tell you what,
right?
That's those Arkansas deer. They're not very bright.
If you had to tighten it up so close to the truck, you.
Arkansas, he's probably running downhill
to everything, right? And not only do you do taxidermy, obviously Chamber of Commerce, but PrepCast, and PrepCast has been a big part of Butler athletics for a lot of years. Obviously, it's expanded now in this area. But now, when did you start the PrepCast?
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I started working with PrepCast. James Damon owned it at the time, and I started, I want to say, 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
Okay.
When we first started, as some of you remember, the software wasn't really sports-oriented software. It was gaming software, and it really wasn't great for what we do now.
Sure.
Or not even comparable to what we do now. I remember one time I had somebody call and complaining about the the quality, and I was like, I'm sorry, because to be honest with you, a lot of times it's on the end of the viewer that's having trouble, as much as it is us in the stands or behind the cameras. And so I said, well, I don't know. It says it's going out real well here, and I said, you could listen to it. It's on the radio station. He goes,
Right.
Well, I want to watch it. I don't want to. And I said, well, if I send you a Polaroid every week or so, that's better. That's better video than what you're getting there. So,
Right.
Anyway, and so, about 5 or 6 years ago, I want to say, been really blessed with some sponsors here in town that have been with us since the beginning. And that's the way it's all paid for. It's all paid through advertising. And I think it's good advertising. I mean, we're numbers are way up this year already. So
Good.
And I feel like we say that every year. Like I feel like every year the numbers are trending up. It's never numbers are worse than last year. It's a growing every year.
It is, and because we are a web-based type entity that we can track how many people come and watch us.
Right.
So it's not like we're guessing at our numbers.
Right.
The only guess is that when we say we had 100 live viewers,
How many people are watching that
last night,
TV?
yes,
If you got one family in a living room and 5 people sitting around watching it.
it's actually we have 100 devices.
Yeah.
Right.
How many's sitting behind those devices? Who knows? I mean, we're all on our phones.
Yeah. Well, and I know a lot of people that'll throw up on their, TV, those screens here, and that's, kind of like even in the newspaper business, you'd circulate 10,000 papers. Well, you double that, you'd say your readership is 20,000.
Yeah. And what we do, we call it advertising, but it's really not advertising. It's really brand impressions is what we're trying to do.
Right.
If I say, hey, Prepcast's got a sale going on this month on whatever, you hear on sale.
Right.
Right. And so let's say I say Prepcast has got a sale on coffee mugs. Well, I don't need a coffee mug.
Right.
But you heard my name twice.
Right.
You heard the brand twice. And so that's considered 2 impressions. And the more impressions I can get in your head, next time you need a coffee cup, to come to Prepcast.
Right.
Or that sort of thing. And that's what I'm trying to do with your advertising. We guarantee you get so many ads per show, and if we take the 180,000 viewers that we had, you can easily multiply that by 2.
Right.
And so now you're looking at what, 60 or however many that is, 360,000 impressions.
Right.
And that's if we played your ad one time.
Right.
Well, obviously there's dead time. We throw your ad up again. Well,
Sure.
Double that.
Right.
We put your ad down in the corner of the screen.
Right.
Double, triple that because it comes up every minute.
Right.
So we're giving you a lot of impressions of getting your brand recognized, and that's why we like doing it. But yeah, I think let's go back to your question. About 5 or 6 years ago, we started Prepcast.
And 5, 6 years ago, starting it, and boy, has it expanded from just being the Bears All Sport Network. Now we have Adrian, Rich Hill, El Dorado Springs, Clinton, in just this local area.
Yep.
And obviously those things, as you were talking about with the impressions, now you're expanding even farther.
Right. And if you want, we have packages that'll go statewide. Prepcast was started in St. Louis, I want to say 15, 20 years ago. And it was started because there was no media entity of any kind in St. Louis, in the greater St. Louis area. And so Prepcast started as an audio-only type thing.
Gotcha.
And then as time progressed, they branched out. James Damon, who, by the way, if you can listen to him Friday night. He's the voice of the Bulldogs down at El Dorado Springs, and Butler's going there. So we'll let El Dorado cover it, and we'll run our ads, of course, on there too. But anyway, you'll get to hear James. And James sold it to me, and about 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, James sold it to me. And anyway, and he was more into, he wanted to stay into his ministries and stuff like that. And he got the new job at Heartland Hospice as a chaplain, and wonderful guy that loves God and loves people
Great guy.
a lot.
Really,
But anyway,
really good.
yeah,
Really good.
yeah, he is. He's good dude.
Yeah.
But anyway, he bought Prepcast KCMW is like an entity of Prepcast LLC in St. Louis, and we have 5 channels. Charlie Brown has kind of the center deal. He has Boonville, Warrensburg, and then Tim Miller is in St. Louis, and he has 5 channels there. So Prepcast KCMW means Kansas City, Missouri West. So basically, we have from Sedalia
This way.
this
This side.
the whole we have basically the west coast of Missouri. That's what we cover.
And so how many channels are there statewide?
I think there's 11.
11.
Yeah.
Which still, and again,
12. There's 12.
12. Okay. And most of, like, what we do here, right, in Prepcast is we're centrally located to one particular school. A lot of the things, like you're talking about Charlie Brown over there in Sedalia, he covers several schools around that area, and even Central
Central
Methodist
Yep.
University covers them as well.
Yep.
And then Tim over there in St. Louis covers several schools.
Yeah, he does. He covers several high schools, and they're mostly big schools over in private schools in St. Louis. But yeah, he covers 5 or 6 schools, and then he has College Cast
Right,
too, which
right.
College Cast covers a lot of colleges, little
Right.
small colleges over there, and he's traveling all over the place with softball and stuff like
Wow.
that for a couple of those a couple of small colleges. and
Gotcha. And I know they do also, Prepcast has been doing the Christian school state championship down, and it was in Joplin. I think they've talked about moving a little bit,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
as far as we know, it's still going to be in Joplin this
Right,
year.
right.
And that's fun to go to.
It is.
Really
And
enjoyed that.
It's good basketball.
It is.
Because you're looking at equivalent schools playing equivalent schools. You know
Right.
what I mean? So it's good. It's good basketball. It's fun to watch. It's fun for the kids, and that's really what this is about. I mean, obviously, I want to make some money at it
Sure.
because it's the way I kind of make my livelihood. But what we do for the kids, I think, is really super.
Tremendous.
You know, I mean,
Yep.
I can imagine the 3 of us would have liked to had
Oh, yeah.
video of. I'd like to know if I was as good as I think I was.
Right.
You know, and go back and watch the videos, and all of our stuff is archived.
Right.
We guarantee it's archived for 2 years, but you can still go back and watch stuff from 2016. It's still on there. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you were watching some of your kids play
I
the other
was.
day
I
on
was
Prep.
So I
watching-
guess
watching.
that's been 8 years. You know?
Yeah. A long time.
But it's been longer than that.
Yeah.
'Cause
Does that make you feel old?
Parker was. I think we covered Parker her freshman year.
I think so.
If not, I know we covered her sophomore year.
Yes, I remember that.
So that would have been 2014. So we've been around a while.
Long time. Yeah, that's
Almost 10 years.
And Prepcast is a wonderful thing. Super thrilled that you do it. Glad to be involved in it. But transitioning from one good thing to another good thing, the chamber. You wear some hats there at the Chamber of
Yeah.
Commerce. And we have some events coming up with the Chamber. Huckster's Day coming up.
Right.
Don't want to spend too long on it, but what can you tell us about Huckster's Day? What are we what do we got going on? And what's I know we're doing some new exciting things this year that maybe we haven't done in the past, shift some stuff around.
Yeah, I don't. This is only my second year of doing Huckster's Day. Last year I thought everything went really well. We had a lot of vendors. I think we got more vendors this year coming. We've got the Kids Zone thing is a great attraction. Car show. Abby does a fantastic job with the car show. And we've got that coming. Then in the evening, we're going to do something a little different. And our times are different, too, by the way.
Yeah, I think we're doing 10 to 4
When
for vendors.
The first Huckster's Day I did, I think, started at 8 o'clock in the morning or something. And it was just like, man, this is early.
Yeah.
Because you got to get here at 5:30 to set your booth and all
Right.
that kind of stuff up.
Right.
And the truth is most of our people are here at 11 to 1,
Right.
for lunch, and
Sure.
there's some great food served there. But so we decided to kick her back, and we went from 9 to 3 last year, and this year we're going to go from 10 to 4
for the vendors.
for the vendors,
Yeah.
and then from 5 to about 8, we're going to have live music. We have a
Awesome.
band called Casey and the Attaboys, and they're really great bluegrass.
Absolutely.
They're really good. Casey actually played on the Grand Ole Opry.
Wow.
So,
It's impressive.
on one of the shows. I
Sure.
don't know exactly all of it, but yeah, she was really good. I saw one of the other members in a bluegrass band called Poana that was really good, and they kind of split up. And so, but anyway, that'll be in the evening, and they're really talented band.
Yeah.
And so, still
They're going to have a couple food trucks here
Yep,
for that,
food
so
trucks,
it'll be
yep, there'll be
music
food
and food trucks.
music, and the evening, kind of a wrap it all up deal. And the vendors are welcome to stay if they want to. But I would encourage you to come out here and just plan on bringing lunch here and make a day of it. And
Yeah.
even if you get here like at 12:31 and just hang out.
Yeah, and that's kind of
going to
the-
be fun. There's going to be fun events. There'll be some music, I think, up on the stage like it was last year. There's a couple contests going on. There's a baking contest, cooking contest.
I think they're doing cinnamon rolls and pies on the baking contest.
cinnamon rolls and pies, so that'll be good.
They need a judge, tailgate
That's
TV.
exactly what I was going to say. So
Judge
what is the
event.
date for?
October 21st.
Okay.
It's a Saturday coming up in a few weeks
Yep.
here, October
Awesome.
21st. And, it should be a great event. And going to have we're talking about the music and food trucks at the evening. Going to have that in a different section. It's going to be right off the square even.
Yeah.
So kind of, space some things out. I say space it out. You're not going to have to, travel across town or anything like that. I think we're going to do that right here on West Dakota.
It's a really cool event. I mean, I remember when I was in high school, my mom was involved in the Chamber of Commerce, and they kind of started it back then. So that was 82, something like that. They started the Huckster's Day that I remember, and what's that, 112 years ago, 120 years ago?
Feels like it sometimes.
Yeah. So anyway, they used to have relay races and stuff, and I remember they did it on Friday because we used to come up here in our football uniforms and
Right.
do stuff. Yeah, I think that's right. Anyway, I just remember it being a lot of fun, and there's people you only see on that day.
Right.
I mean, for a year each year. But it's a good time, and it's really kind of cool. And we were watching TikTok, and I was showing you guys that pencil drawing artist. There's a lot of art involved in, crafts and stuff that the vendors sell. And there's nothing. I love real good art. I mean, I love really good art. It backs up that we were created in the image of a creator.
No kidding.
So anyway,
Well, we have a fun ending segment
okay.
that we always do. We wrap stuff up. We have some over-unders here for you. We're going to see if you can pick them. So, the Chiefs, as we talked about, some prepcast, some viewership, some numbers, the Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl last year had over or under 150 million people watching.
Over.
It's under
Really?
at 115 million. That's still pretty impressive. 115
A lot of
million.
Raiders fans.
A lot of folks.
Prepcast does over or under 75 sporting events a year.
Sporting events.
Yeah.
Oh, way over.
Way over that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Way
We didn't even know the exact number. Do you know an exact number? Do you got to? I know it's a
Just
whole
for
bunch.
R5.
Yeah.
R5 channels. I buy 350 games a year.
So just for R5, 350.
That's a lot.
So between the 12. So if you
Yeah,
figure that out, that's
I'd say
over 1,000.
we do over 1,000 events.
That's amazing.
Across the state, easy.
That's
We
amazing.
cover well over 300 different schools in Missouri.
Wow.
So I mean, we see 300.
Right.
I can't say we cover them, but
Right.
we see 300.
We
different
have
schools.
covered.
And,
Wow.
and we every year they I kind of have Tim keep track of new schools
Right.
because I think it helps with advertising
Sure.
too. You'd be able to say, hey, we cover, especially because corporate advertising,
Right.
corporate people like. I'm just going to use Casey's. I
Sure.
guess that's okay.
Sure.
But like Casey's, I know Casey's is in almost every town of every school
Sure.
we play.
Yep.
Sure.
But they can't afford to say, okay, we'll give each school that we're
Right.
in $1,000.
Right.
But if they could give you X amount of dollars
Right.
and you're covering 300
Right.
Casey's towns, I think they'd go for that.
Or the drink stop at Sonic.
Yeah, that's right. And Sonic is another one.
Yeah, they do a great job for us.
Butler and El Dorado Springs both.
Yes,
are owned by the
Umstead
Group, right? Yeah. And so they're very generous people because they don't have to pay for any of that advertising.
That's right.
They do it to support because they get national-wide advertising.
Correct.
And it's, I'm sure they pay a fee, but at the same time, they don't have to do that. So they do that in support of the towns. They help us out in El Dorado. They help us out here, help you guys out.
Yep.
I mean, they're a really generous bunch.
They really are. We appreciate them
them a lot.
Yeah, Miles and Josh here in town.
Yep.
Here's one I'm going to get you with. There's over or under 5 presidents named James. Or have been.
Over.
There's 6. You know the 6?
Very good.
We got James Madison, James Monroe, James Polk, James Buchanan, James Garfield, and James Jimmy Carter. So that would total 6.
I thought Van Buren was a James. Anyway, go ahead.
Last one. The Butler Chamber of Commerce lit over or under 500 flashlights at one time to set a Guinness Book World Record.
Over.
It was 1,000.
Yep.
Do you know the date?
No, but I can show you where I was standing.
Me too. That's what I
It
told him.
was July 15th, 2010. The chamber did that.
Because I was campaigning for presiding commissioner at that time, so I could show you the yellow shirts right where we stand.
I remember doing that as well. There were a lot of folks there.
Yeah.
Shine on Butler.
There was 1,000 of them there.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
It is cool.
Well, we'd like to thank Doug for coming in with
Absolutely.
us and having a conversation with us. I'd like to thank, a couple of our sponsors, which he has a hand in, the Chamber of Commerce, Prepcast, and of course we have 03 Customs, Sonic, Mid-America Live, CNS Graphics, Emmanuel Baptist Church. I mean,
Absolutely.
a lot of folks that we love working with, and also love having Doug in and chatting with him. So thank you for coming in and talking to us.
Thanks for letting me.
Yeah, absolutely. Enjoyed it.
And
Thank you for watching this segment of Tailgate TV.
welcome back to Tailgate TV, where we are here with a wonderful guest. Got a lot of great questions here, and just excited to have this conversation. Who do we have here with us, Brad?
This is the Butler High School ladies golf coach, Angie Kauffman. Thank you, Angie, for being here with us. We enjoyed it, and we've been out a couple times and playing golf and seeing y'all out there working hard. The girls are putting in a lot of good work. I'm thrilled for them. I love watching them out there. Just because it's a game that lasts so long, right? You can play it your whole life.
Well, especially the way I play it, it takes a long time to play.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing.
Think
he has to get his tires rotated on his golf cart after a round. He drives around so much, as my dad used to say.
I think we got through 4 holes in 3 hours today.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to come to our practice.
Yeah, if after this, if we got some lessons, we'll take them.
Yeah.
He's going to need some icy hot after this for his back. But so when did you start kind of getting into golf?
Well, I started playing golf in probably my mid-20s when I realized that slow pitch softball was no longer for me. So stop asking me to play.
It wasn't an option anymore.
No. And
It's always an option.
Yeah. So we just decided that we were going to give up softball and took up golf. And so for 20 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now you're out. Yeah, you go out on ladies' nights and couples' nights and all that good stuff. You're out there a lot. Yeah, that's good. It's an enjoyable thing to do.
It is.
What do you enjoy most about golfing? No, it's kind of a loaded question. There's a lot of things to enjoy.
Honestly, the friendships and the companionship of being around other people. I mean, we know the game can be really frustrating. Can have a lot of fun with the game, or you can, just have one of those golf days and things aren't going well. But it's still just, my parents play. Almost all of my family plays. My kids play, and just a lot of good friends that I play with, and so for me that's the best part, is just kind of being around all those people. So
it is the best part, right? Going out there with your kids and your family and just enjoying being together, and like you say, it can be a very frustrating game, but that makes it a lot easier, doesn't it? It really does.
Yeah.
Well, and I've never done it because I haven't found anybody that's worse than me at golf, but I feel like if you go out there with people that are worse than
Yeah.
I'd have to look
Feel
hard.
a lot better.
Yeah, I think that's why Brad plays with me so much. It makes him look so good. Yeah. But yeah, no, that is a fun part of the game is
Yeah.
playing with people that you enjoy being with and just being outside. I mean,
Yeah.
it's always an excuse to
Yeah.
go be outside on a pretty day.
Terrible round, and that's just that one good shot that brings you back the next time.
And then you're chasing.
Yeah,
I want to.
yeah.
I want to hit that shot again.
yeah.
He hit that one today, by
I
the way.
did.
He
Yeah.
did a nice
Hit the
drive,
best drive I've
down
hit.
4. Yeah.
Do it once a year.
That's good.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh wow, that was a great one. I need to do that again."
It made me keep wanting to go.
Yes. Yes.
I didn't do it again.
Well, you know.
There's always next
go
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back again. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what got you into coaching? I know you've been coaching golf, ladies golf, for a
Yep.
few years
Yep.
here at Butler.
Yep. When my daughter, when Lainey was in high school, and Jimmy Barnes was her coach, and he would ask me a lot to go as a parent, but also as a coach. He kind of signed me up on Misha to be a coach, so I could go to like postseason play and be like another chaperone and things like that. So kind of had my foot in the door when Lainey was in high school, and then he was real busy with track and cross country and all of that, and so he gave it up, and so I just kind of started doing it. So, yeah,
So enjoyable, right? It's such.
and
You get so many blessings and benefits, right, from being with those kids. Coaching's a great thing.
being a teacher, there are a lot of extra duties, but I'm telling you, there are way worse extra duties than coaching girls golf. So, anyway, it's fun to be out there with them and just the sport itself, and so yeah, it's enjoyable.
And it seems like a lot of girls out.
Yeah.
And do you know where the draw comes from? Is it just because I know golf over the last however old Tiger Woods is, right? Because there's been a huge
It's about my age, yeah,
of just
yeah.
golfers throughout
Yeah.
the United States and really around the world.
Yeah.
But do you think he's had an influence on this, or you think it's just one of those?
It can be pretty trendy. It seems
Yeah.
like right now there are a lot of young people, even out at our course, that want to come out and play, and I've even heard some high school boys who are strong baseball players. So Coach Hill, I hope he's not listening to this, but said that they maybe would be interested in dual sporting.
Right.
Anyway, just that they go out with their friends, and so just maybe a little trendy right now, but we'll see.
Yeah, I noticed
Yeah.
that when we went out, when we did the Welcome to Butler video, we went out with the girls,
Yes.
and I was like, there's a good chunk of girls out here, and we kind of were wondering that,
Yeah.
what's the draw? Because there's been some years where there's not been a
There
lot.
when several years ago in 2020, that the 2019-2020 school year, we had 3, and we couldn't score as a team. So typically, like at a tournament or even a match, you play 5 and score the best 4 scores. Really, is what your team score is. And then I actually had lunch duty one year that turned out to be, I loved it. At first I was like, lunch duty? No way. But I just loved it, walking around talking to the girls. And actually that year, leading up to the next year, recruited several girls to come out and play, and I think we had 10 the next year.
Wow.
Anyway, so in the last few years we've had 7, 8, 10, and so yeah.
Well, and I tell you, the fall of the year, you have volleyball, you have
Yep.
cross country,
Yep.
you have obviously ladies golf, cheerleading,
Cheer, yep.
right? There's a lot of activities going
Yep.
on for young ladies, and it is really fun to see how many dual sport
Yep.
or things of that nature. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think it's a great opportunity for young ladies
Yep.
to get out there and really show what they can do.
Well,
Yeah.
and what I heard in that is we need to turn Angie on the recruiting trail. We got little Coach Tom over here. Go out, talk to people, and
Then I would say, bring a friend. You
Yeah.
come out and you bring a friend. So
Right.
yeah,
No, it's a great idea.
yeah.
So with all of the girls there in the season, you've been with the girls a little bit this year. What do you think some of their strengths are? What do you see in this team or this group of girls?
in comparison to some previous years, well, we know the short game can always, I mean, like if you really want to shave strokes off, it's really the short game. But we have some girls that can hit a monster long ball. Really? I mean, outdrive any woman that I play with on a Monday night or on a Thursday night. But they can really get a hold of the ball when everything goes just right. But they really can. And even today when we were out there, had one that had just a monster. And so I would, for right now, it's kind of that. We still need to be working on the short game, and that's, really where you can make a lot of improvements. And so, but some good senior leadership. I have 3 seniors, 2 that this is their 4th year. So Kira Brockman, it's her 4th year, and Haven Humphrey, it's her 4th year. And so they're just good girls. And good golfers this year. They've really turned it on. And so just with that, I think they're doing a good job.
That's good.
Yeah.
You talked about the short game. What would be something that you would really emphasize to a new golfer or a younger golfer?
Yeah.
That's, hey, let's put a lot of time and effort into that.
Putting. Yeah. Putting. Get on the green, and then we really want to minimize the 3+ putts. Really that's, and it's kind of a standing joke with us at a 3 putts, and then you're going to start running. But they don't. But it's just like, if you 3 putt this. I saw yesterday we were at Sedalia and had a player that got on the green on a par 5 and pretty good shape and had a 6-foot putt and then 3 putted. Oh. And so it's just, and they know it, and they just get in a hurry and they just back and forth, but putting.
Well, and especially reading some of those greens that you're not familiar with at a different course, and then trying to read how they're going to roll. Yeah, it proves difficult.
So when we get there, that's if they have a practice green, get up there and at least are they faster than ours at home? Are they slow? Just kind of get a feel for it before we get started. But
well, I heard John Daly talk about one time. He was on a podcast and he was talking about golf, and he said Tiger Woods learned from the green back to the tee as opposed to playing golf the conventional way. And he said, because on tour, 150 yards and in, that's your scoring position. And I'm obviously maybe a little bit shorter for high school kids or even amateurs. But limiting your strokes from a certain point in makes all the difference. Because like you say, that 3 putt counts as many as 3 strokes down.
That's absolutely
fairway.
right. Yep.
I think that's really, really important to do.
What improvements have you seen your team? And it can be either, kind of this year, maybe some growth you've seen, or even just over the last few years, what have you kind of seen? Either way.
The long ball, for sure. We're just really striking the ball well. Hybrids. They're good off the tee. Not the hybrid necessarily, but the girls are, good off the tee. And then their second shot, if, they really stay focused with it, just the long ball with them. I do have one girl in particular, she was a first year last year to this year. I tease her because I accuse her of taking lessons because she, you have had to have taken lessons because you're just her swing is just so much, more into it and just a more athletic looking swing. And so, but she just laughs, but I just say, you surely took lessons because she's made a lot of improvements since last year.
And that's awesome to see girls that are that invested in, we're going to get better. We're going to try, we're going to work at it. And that's got to be great to see.
Yeah.
That's neat. And like you were saying earlier about you hit that one good shot around, right? When you see that improvement in the swing, boy, as a golfer, you don't see it obviously because you can't watch yourself swing unless you're taping yourself or whatever. But to see the better shots, and then as a coach, watch them going, something clicked correctly. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. But now, as a golfer, a lot of great courses in the United States, a lot of great courses around the world. Do you have a favorite course, and then maybe your favorite course, and then where would you want to play that course, or would you want to play somewhere else?
Well, just personally, locally, Silo Ridge and Bolivar is
Okay.
really, really nice. I like to
Okay.
play down there.
Okay, write that down. So we
Yep,
remember to
yep,
go
yep.
down there.
Go down there. Sherry Kreitz. A little plug for her. We have been to Sedalia for several years, and we were there yesterday. But I would like to play there. It's a nice course. And actually, this next summer, I think we're going to go to Hawaii.
Oh,
so I'm pretty
nice.
sure a round of golf will be in my
Very nice.
Should
on my itinerary.
We'll
for
have to have you
Hawaii,
come
so-
back on and tell us all
Yeah,
about it.
Yeah.
Well,
so
we should
hopefully,
We should go.
Yeah.
I think we should.
Yeah,
We could
a tailgate TV
do it.
trip. We'll
Yeah.
write it all off. We'll figure something
Absolutely.
out.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
That would be a beautiful place to play, I would think.
I would imagine. Yes, I've
Yeah.
got some friends that have played there.
How
So
could it not be,
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
My goodness.
yeah.
This is the fun part.
Okay.
We have some true or false questions for
Oh
you.
gosh.
We're going to
No.
see, and I will say there's no right or wrong, but there is.
Okay.
True or false? The first golf balls were made out of clay.
Oh. I'm glad you're not asking me about rules,
Oh.
because my personal play maybe sometimes. I'm gonna say true.
That's false.
Oh yeah,
The first
I meant to
ones,
say false.
Yeah, that's the one I meant.
Yeah.
They were made out of leather and feathers.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
feathers
fun.
wrapped up in leather. We should try that too.
I don't think
Yeah.
so. I have a hard enough time hitting the
The
best
one-
balls
yeah.
where I want them to go, let alone some made out of feathers. Yeah.
True or false? You are more likely to be hit by a car
Oh,
than you are to hit a hole in one.
I'm gonna say true.
That is true. So you have a 1, and this actually surprised me. I thought it would be even more of a long shot. You have a 1 in 12,500 chance of it getting a hole in one.
Okay,
You have a 1 in just over 4,000 chance of getting hit by a
that's
car.
kind of scary.
I was thinking that. I'm not going to
That's
walk
a
around
little-
outside
yeah,
anymore.
Yeah,
Okay, wait, sidebar.
not with any earpods in.
Hole in one?
No.
Close.
Close.
Actually, yes, on number 5.
Oh.
This was several years ago. I really thought it was going to go in. I was playing by myself, but
Well, no one counted.
I
Nobody saw
know,
it.
I know.
You should have just said it when
I had a friend down at Indian Rock that almost hit a hole in one. I know almost doesn't count, only
Well, but it does. I mean,
horseshoes and
it
hand
almost
grenades.
counts. That's
But,
what they say,
but yes, I know for a minute you're just like, oh my gosh, is it going in? I've had one eagle. That's it.
Very
One
good.
eagle.
But
Yeah.
still,
Yeah.
That's great. Awesome.
True or false? A golf ball has around 200 dimples on the surface.
Yeah, I'll say true.
No, false.
Oh, how many?
It has 300 to 500.
Ooh.
Sounds like a lot.
Well, when you said around,
Right.
I mean,
It's around. Depends on how you.
All the
yeah.
dimples are round.
well, 3 to 500. That's a 200.
It's around 200. Yeah.
But I was amazed at that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
First
count
of all,
them.
I'm gonna go count.
Yeah.
Who was the person
Who's
that
got a
got
golf
around?
ball? Give me a golf ball.
Who was the person? I probably got some of the
Yeah.
Who was the person that had to count that? Is what I want to know.
Not me. Now this one I've helped contribute to the stat.
Oh,
True or false? There are 100 million golf balls lost in the U.S. per year.
oh, for sure.
False. There are over
that doesn't
300 million. 300 million golf balls lost in the U.S.
I thought you said at least.
Did I say? If I said okay,
No.
if I said at
I'm
least, it's
teasing.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll count it.
All right, where do you what hole do you think has the most? We looked it up.
What do you
Well, Brad
mean?
didn't have to look it up. Brad,
What do you mean?
What do you think?
What hole is more golf balls lost than any other hole in the United States?
You mean like a par 3 or like a? What do you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like the Island Green. Yeah.
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 Yeah. And Sawgrass.
the
Yeah.
hole 17 at
Yeah.
Sawgrass.
Yeah, you know that's
Yeah.
a public course. You can go
Ooh.
play that, right?
Well, let's go.
Oh, well, that's what I say.
I'm gonna need a couple
told my
buckets of
boys-
balls.
I told my boys, I said, if there's a golf course that we like, hey, Dad, we want to take you on something. I said, take
That's
me there.
it. Okay.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I think they have it at the simulator at Topgolf.
Yeah, not the same. Topgolf, not the same. I will say, have you been to Topgolf? Yeah.
Yeah.
I took
It's
Brad for the
fun.
first time the
Yeah.
other day.
It's not my cup of tea.
Oh, why?
Well, it's just hitting golf balls. You know what I mean? It's not.
Well, you got to play the contests.
Yeah, but they don't tell you how far flags are from you.
What?
I never seen.
I kept
It's
telling you,
on
it said
the
it.
it's on
He
the
doesn't listen to me, and I was
on
the
the
one
old
telling him.
TV screen
Yeah, see, I
thing.
can't do that. want to take my.
You didn't go with the right person.
Right.
That's probably.
I've heard that many times when I go places with him. You don't go with the right person.
It's probably accurate.
Oopsie.
The last question.
Okay.
True or false?
Oh, boy, here we go.
The most famous left-handed golfer is right-handed.
Oh. I'm going to say true.
That's true. Phil Mickelson.
Actually, right-handed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's odd.
Yeah.
Right?
I have a friend who plays right-handed but then putts left-handed. She's always a left-handed putter.
Maybe that's what's wrong with my game. Maybe I play with the wrong hand.
Never
I'm going to try that next Tuesday.
I don't think that's going to help you.
With your same set of clubs.
It can't make me any worse.
I know a guy that plays golf all the way to the, like you're saying, all the way to the green right-handed, and then when he gets on the green left-handed, and I'm like, I don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
My eyes would mess me up doing that. I couldn't do it. But hey, golf's a great game, and if you don't play golf, go play golf, right?
Yeah.
I mean, get out there.
Yeah.
And I know everybody goes, well, and I will say this. This is the one thing I tell every new golfer. Don't watch the PGA Tour and expect to play like those guys.
Exactly.
They're freaks of nature, right? They do things that you can't do with the golf club.
No, it's like watching Michael Jordan and picking up a basketball thinking you're going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I said, you need to watch the LPGA, not because they're not freaks, because they're super good, but they do everything so fundamentally sound.
Yeah.
It is they do so good. You watch them, even in their practice swings and things like that, they are just on tempo. They don't try to kill it. They're just hitting the ball, and they know their yardages, and this is the club I'm hitting to this, and their putting is spectacular. I mean, it's scary how good they are at putting. It really is. So anyway, we want to thank Angie for being here.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks for having
me.
me.
You. I enjoyed our conversation. Enjoyed the learning about the girls here on the Butler High School golf team, and
I'd like to thank Sonic for sponsoring this portion of
Tailgate
TV and all that they do.
Thirst quenchers.
Absolutely.
Sonic.
As we always say, and we'll keep saying, the podcast sounds better with a Sonic drink.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So, we want to thank you for watching this episode of Tailgate TV.
CNS Graphics is happy to once again be serving Butler and surrounding areas. We are back and ready to serve you. We specialize in poster-worthy sport edits, but can help assist you in any of your graphic design needs. Find us on Facebook today, or call or text Cody at 479-385-1120 and let us create a custom graphic that you can cherish for a lifetime. And remember, your graphics deserve to be cool and stylish.
As people, we are in need first and foremost of a Savior. Though not nearly as much as a Savior, we are in need of community. Community to lift us up, to rejoice alongside, to weep with, and to be ministered to in whatever walk of life we are in. At Emmanuel Baptist Church, we are not the perfect church for the perfect person, but we are the church of the perfect Lamb of God, Jesus Christ. Verse by verse, book by book preaching, contemporary worship, and multiple generations under one roof. We hope you'll join us sometime at Emmanuel Baptist Church, 10 o'clock Sunday mornings, 801 West Dakota Street, Butler, Missouri.
Welcome back to Tailgate TV, where once again, me and Brad are going to have some fun. And you can tell by the laughter, Brad is already highly anticipating my picks.
Highly. Can't wait to go out and rent these.
You should.
I know.
Netflix
can't
every
wait.
one of them, which gets us into what we're picking today. Our favorite sports movies. These are the best. These are going to be the 6 best sports movies of all time.
Buckle up. Pop the popcorn.
I was just about to say, get your popcorn ready, as T.O. would say.
That's it.
And before we even get started, Brad, I do have a couple honorable mentions. Are those allowed?
Sure, I've got one.
Well, what's your one?
Well, I've got maybe 2.
Okay, what are your 2?
And I'm the reason they're honorable mention is they should be on this list, but because the list is only 3, they can't be.
Yeah, three's
Somebody's got to get the axe, and these 2 got the axe for me, even though they are so high up there. Maybe even 3 got the axe. Number 1, great movie.
Number 1 honorable mention.
Honorable mention. Number 1 that is on the cutting room floor.
Snip, snip.
Field of Dreams. Great movie.
Never seen it.
Great movie. Fun movie. Interesting movie.
They play a Field of Dreams game now.
They do at the actual place. You know, little interesting side note to that. When they built that field, they built it on 2 different people's properties. Half of the ballpark was in one and half of the ballpark was in another. And was a long time because people had tried to buy it, but one person would want to sell it and the other one didn't. And it went back and forth. And then finally, I don't know what happened, whether the money got good enough or whatever happened, but someone bought it. And yes, now they have a Major League Baseball game there, Field of Dreams Stadium there in wherever it's at.
I'm going to add that to
Iowa,
my 2 watch list. Now, and this is where our picks are going to be different. You know, sometimes I'll have an extra 2 or 3 on here in case you pick one of mine.
Right.
I'm not worried about that this time.
No, me neither. Not at all.
I'm not worried about the.
I heard you read off a list because you were kind of going through a list of things going, well, I want to make sure that I remember all the movies. And you named a few of them off, and you go, I've never even heard of these. I was like, yeah, every one of those is on my list.
So, and here's the difference. I like to laugh when I watch a movie.
Okay.
So these are 2 that got that.
I like sports when I watch a movie.
These are 2 that got X'd.
Oh.
One of them you actually gave me the idea of.
Okay.
You were talking about one that I don't know if it made your list or not, but you were talking about some horse racing movies.
Yes, love
and
horse racing.
And I thought, well, if horse racing is a sport,
well,
then car racing has to be a sport. And if car racing is a sport, Talladega Nights is a sports movie. And if that's the case, Ricky Bobby, he's in the conversation for me. Now, Talladega Nights, it's like I said, it's an honorable mention. For 2 facts. 1, is a race car movie a sports movie? And if it is, I mean, Lightning McQueen.
Again, fictional.
Ka-chow.
Fictional. Go ahead.
But no, those are some. And then the other one, when I was thinking through, stupid, funny sports movies that. Here's the problem, like with this next one for me. Is it really a sports movie or is it a comedy that has some sports in it?
Okay.
And I X'd it because I feel like it does fall in. It's a comedy with sports in it.
Okay.
But The Longest Yard. The Adam Sandler Longest Yard.
Right. Not the original, the best one.
The Burt Reynolds. And Burt Reynolds is in the second one as well.
Well, you can't really have a Longest Yard without Burt Reynolds in it.
You can't have anything without Burt Reynolds in it.
Well.
And if race car movies, I mean, shoot. We lost our. If somebody wants to get us a new pen, we'll take new pens. I mean, Smokey and the Bandit. They're racing against the clock. If bootlegging is a sport, Dukes of Hazzard might say it is.
Yeah, they probably would.
And if it's a sports movie, it's number 1 on my list.
So
and lastly, the one that I had to cut that I really wanted to make my number 1 pick, but got talked out of. The best movie ever made.
Secretariat.
The Princess Bride.
Yeah, because he says fencing.
He said it has sports, it has fencing, it has fighting, it has love, it has.
And that should tell you a lot about why our
lists are not going to be the
same.
So
different.
If we have one of the same on here,
we do not.
And
I promise you.
There is one that I think.
Okay.
There's 2 on my list I know for a fact you won't have.
Okay.
And there's one I'm pretty sure you won't have, but it's the one you might. Anyways.
Start number 3. Go ahead.
Did you have another honorable mention for us?
I do, but I just said Secretariat.
That's
great
an honorable
movie.
mention?
Yep.
Okay.
Great movie.
I'd put it up against Talladega Nights.
Except for mine's real. There was an actual Secretariat.
Yeah.
Nobody ever rode in a car with a cougar. With
somebody's ridden in a car with a cougar.
With cocaine underneath it. Probably
somebody's done
probably
that.
Not.
I'm from Arkansas. Somebody's done that.
Well, yeah.
Okay, my number 3. So I'm going first.
Yes, I want you to go first. Please
my number
do.
3.
Okay.
Rocky.
Best sports movie of all time.
Rocky.
Not fictional.
No.
Surprised.
Rocky's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
My number 3 sports movie.
No one ever got hit in any of those movies. No one was actually injured in the making of the Rocky movies, no matter how many times they get hit.
Can't say the same about The Princess Bride.
That's true.
Somebody went to the hospital after getting hit by a sword because it's real sports. You got Andre the Giant, best wrestler in the world, on there.
That's true. Another fake sport.
Rocky's my number 3 pick. What's yours?
I love Rocky movies. Honestly, they came out when I was a young man. Now, let me say, they need to stop making them movies. My goodness.
After like 4 was the cut.
Yeah, and that was even stretching it.
Yes.
Right? 3 they were still pretty
3
good.
was one of my favorites.
Yeah, 3 was still pretty good. 4 and beyond. What do they have? Like 27 now, I think
they just made like a 7th.
Yeah, okay. Now Rocky refers to them in rocking chairs going back and forth. It has nothing to do with boxing anymore.
Oh.
Because they've had to bring new people in.
They have the Creed movies, which are a spin-off of it now, too.
Right. Exactly. That's my point.
Everything's spinning around so much.
Yeah, it's like
spun into a tizzy.
Yeah, it's like
if you spin long enough, you're going to fall off.
Well, and it's like Titanic 2. Huh? What? I mean, there is no. That's my point. After they made a certain amount of Rockies, it's over with. Everybody's done what they were going to do. Now it's done.
Brad Davis, number 3 pick.
My number 3 pick. Again, I like sports movies.
Am I going to know any of these?
You'll have heard of them.
Okay.
Mainly on that list that you read.
Okay.
I like sports movies because I don't think you can write a script as well as actually having it happen. All 3 of mine are actual movies that were made off of actual characters.
2 of mine are.
My number 3. And I was amazed. I went through one with every major sport.
Okay. There's more than 3 major sports. I mean,
No.
You got
There's
soccer,
only
you
3.
got wrestling,
No. There's only 3 major sports. The rest of them are
You got golf.
not majors. Rudy Rudiger, and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and just that whole movie from it's that it really can't happen, but it did happen.
Yeah.
And a little guy like that, and what's funny to me, just seeing those guys in that movie do a great job of playing those roles. There's some monsters that play. It's hard.
Casting those movies is extremely, and it makes or break the movie.
Oh, it does, absolutely. But having a guy, I don't think that people really understand how large linemen are. We watched a lineman last night, or a couple, whatever it was.
6'8", 320 pounds?
75 pounds, 375. Plays right tackle.
Freak.
And moves well, right? I mean, it's not like he was...
Yeah, he was a basketball player for a while. Around the basketball court. Now he's out there hitting dudes on the football field.
Amazing. But Rudy was a great movie. Love that movie. And the guy's still around. He does all kinds of stuff. And
he'll be on the podcast next week.
Well, I wish he would be. That would be a thrill for me. But anyway.
My number 2 pick.
Number 2.
I think you're going to be fine with my 1 and 2, or my 2 and 3.
Okay.
3 was Rocky.
Yeah.
2, Remember the Titans.
Another fine movie.
Can't go wrong with it.
No.
Denzel does a great job.
I was going to say, Denzel Washington played one of his best roles, I think.
I think it's his best movie.
Maybe.
Without a doubt.
Not that I've seen very many Denzel Washington movies, because I'm not a movie guy.
I've seen a handful, but that is the best one that I've seen.
So good. And, again, the tragedy in that movie with the young man getting hurt, right?
Spoiler alert.
If you haven't seen that movie by now, I didn't say how he got hurt.
Okay.
But and the ability for those young men, right, to come together in such a way, to have one common goal. It's really a lesson for our country, to be really honest with you. Come together for one common good, right? So, a great movie. I would agree with both those. Enjoyed both those movies. And in the right order, by the way.
Yeah.
For me. Rocky's good, but Remember the Titans is exceptional.
Don't disagree. That's
Yeah.
why I ranked him the way I did.
Yeah,
and I'm
great.
so glad you're agreeing with me so far. It's going to make number one so much more fun when we get to it.
Because it's bad, isn't it? It's
I
horrible.
think it's the best sports movie ever made.
So my number 2, and again, I went football with Rudy.
So we're going baseball now?
No.
Football? Oh, basketball?
No.
Oh, you went Hoosiers.
Hoosiers.
Yeah.
What a great movie.
Never seen it.
Oh, my gosh. Again, true to life. Now, obviously, and every true to life Hollywood movie is not
It's
true.
based on a true story.
Based. I have the
They
book.
take their liberties.
I have a book of the gentleman that was
You
in that.
big reader?
No, I'm not a big reader, but I read those.
Our next picks need to be best sports books.
Okay. It'd be my same list. But honestly,
Recycling.
really liked Hoosiers. And I can't remember the gentleman's name in the main character, but Dennis Hopper, I think, was in that movie. He played one of the kids' dads. Great. He did a super job in that movie. Hearing some of the stories that they filmed that during an actual Indiana high school basketball game.
Yeah.
And that's just exciting. Good stuff. Good stuff. Every time that movie is on, if I'm clicking through the channels and I see that movie,
You're watching it.
I'm stopping. Yep.
Okay.
The search is over.
I'll watch it one night.
You should.
I will.
You enjoy it.
Number one pick.
The number 1, Cody Morris,
Best
sports movie of all time.
all time. I can watch it over and over again. Watch it. Like you say, anytime it's on.
Space Jam.
No, that did come in consideration, though. Not going to lie. That was in my head. Not for number 1, but it was in my head. Major League.
Okay. Wow. Okay. That good, huh?
That good.
Number 1 movie.
Number 1 sports
Major League.
Major League.
Wild Thing.
Wild Thing.
Okay.
Charlie
Vince
Sheen.
Vaughn.
Yep.
Okay. Charlie Sheen. Yep.
It's
Best
got to-
haircut.
Well, and
in a
and-
baseball movie.
Yeah. I appreciate, what makes that movie too is the broadcast throughout, especially, as we're broadcasting. I want to say what they actually say on
Bob Uecker,
Yeah.
who's an actual broadcaster
So
for
it's
the
a real movie.
Milwaukee Brewers.
It's a story of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Okay, I have a side. Here we go. We're chasing a rabbit. My cousin,
Squirrel.
Darren Vanderberg from Clinton,
Okay.
got a baseball signed by Bob Uecker.
I want it. It'd go really good up there in the tailgate studio.
It would. I need to talk to him about that. We were at an Angels game out in California where my another cousin named John, he was a bat boy for the Angels. So he could get us in to watch batting practice. So we're at Angel Stadium watching batting practice. And somebody, don't even know who it was, don't care, hits a home run. So Darren's, we're close to home plate, and Darren's like, I want to go get that ball. And I said, well, go get it. They're not going to go get it. They just leave them. So he walks out, grabs it, brings it back in. Well, they make you leave. After batting practice, they make you leave, and then you get a ticket to come back in to watch the ball game. So we're outside, standing in front, and here comes this, looked like a shuttle bus kind of a thing from the airport. Bob Uecker steps out, and my
With that ball in his hand.
cousin is jazzed. Yeah, he's got it right. So he walks up, Bob Uecker signs it, and
That's pretty neat.
pretty fun, right?
Yeah.
It was a great thing. It was
And you get that ball, get Charlie Sheen to sign it.
right.
We'd be winning.
eBay. I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. But anyway, my cousin still has the ball. I've seen it, about a year ago I saw it. So, yeah, it's awesome. Awesome.
But yeah, best sports movie of all time, in my opinion, Major League.
I went with another baseball movie.
And it's nostalgic now because it's the Cleveland Indians, which are no longer a thing.
They are the
Guardians.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you know where that comes from?
When I heard it, I think I could be mistaken.
Okay.
But I think it has to do with the bridge over the city that everybody loves, is the Guardian Bridge, or something to that effect. So
Okay.
it has something to do with the city.
Okay.
It's
Never been to
not-
Cleveland. Have you been to Cleveland?
No. So it's not something that outside of Cleveland you really know. But from what I've heard, the fans in Cleveland really appreciate it. Fans elsewhere, maybe not so much.
I've been to the Cincinnati Reds stadium a couple years ago. Nice new ballpark they have there, and but I've never made it to Cleveland. That's one. We were talking bucket lists several days ago. Just overall, one of my bucket lists is to go. I would love to go to see a baseball game at every major league ballpark
Let's get started.
in the United States. It's a big list because I've seen several, but I've never been to Cardinal Stadium in St. Louis.
Really? That'd be
You would
easy
think
one
being
to
this
check off.
close, right?
Yeah.
But that'd be fun.
Okay, I'm getting antsy.
Okay.
Your number.
You're not going to know this. You're not going to know that.
So I'm not going to.
If you've never seen Rudy,
Nope.
and you've never seen Hoosiers,
Nope.
guarantee you have never seen this movie.
What is it? What do I get if I have? I guess you get a prize.
Okay. I'll give you $100 bill.
Okay.
Right here, I'll get one out of my wallet right now. I'll give you $100.
Gonna get paid for being on the show for the first time. Hide your ID there. We don't
want you
want
to see my stash.
giving your social security number out there too, sitting in your wallet.
There it is. Crisp,
Okay.
clean, $100 bill.
What's the movie?
Pride of the Yankees.
Nope.
I knew it.
Never seen it.
Pride of the
Heard of
Yankees. It's
it.
the
Know
Lou Gehrig story. Okay, Lou Gehrig.
I'm familiar with the movie.
And Lou Gehrig, obviously.
Lou Gehrig's disease.
Yep. Lou Gehrig, again, back, and you've heard of Cal Ripken.
Of
He
course.
broke Lou Gehrig's record for consecutive games played.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that in relativeness, I guess that's even a word, to this. He played 2,000 games, 2,100, I think, in 31 or 32 games in a row.
It's crazy.
And then to
Now, I will
have this
say-
cut his life short.
I will say I'm not discrediting that or what he did at all.
Yeah, right.
But when you look at sports,
Yes.
I do think baseball is the easiest sport to play consecutive games.
No question.
You
No
know,
question.
It'd be a toss-up between that and basketball. Obviously, football is the hardest.
Of course.
Basketball is kind of hard.
But it's your
I feel
kicker
like-
or something, right? Where you don't get a ton of physical play.
But yeah, but still impressive.
Absolutely. He played with broken fingers. He played with high fevers. He played with
Well, so did Michael Jordan. He had the flu. Or was
twisted
hungover.
ankles, things like that. That's just impressive. And then to have something so devastating come into his life.
Absolutely.
And played on two, I think you would have to say, and I'm not a Yankees fan, so don't think that I'm just all
Yeah, we should have Major
Yankeed
come in
up.
here and talk to this.
Major loves the Yankees. But to play on two great ball teams that he did, because he was the bridge between the Babe Ruth era at the Yankees and the Mickey Mantle, DiMaggio, those guys. He kind of bridged both those.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. And to think that he held down first base for that long
Yeah.
was tremendous. It's a great movie. There's a lot of funny things in it, humorous
Well, I like
little
funny.
things. But obviously,
Is it as funny as Major League?
not funny like funny, haha. It's funny, humorous, funny, more heartwarming humor, if that makes sense.
Okay.
His wife and him that were humorous together.
Okay.
They did a lot of fun things. His mother and father didn't know he was a baseball player for many years.
Didn't know that.
They wanted him to be an engineer, I think.
Okay.
And when he got into baseball, they weren't very happy. And then toward the end of it, they were front row center, yelling at the umpires and all that stuff with their son playing. So it's a good movie. It's a great movie. People would sit down and enjoy that movie.
I'll have to watch all three of those at some point.
Yeah.
We would like to thank, we got some lovely sponsors, and we say this every episode, and we will continue to say it because it will always be true. we enjoy all of our sponsors, not just because they sponsor us, but we have enjoyed each of them we have worked with before they were sponsored, had been doing business with them, and still continue to do business with them outside of the podcast because they do amazing things. 03 Customs have, we've been ordering hats from them for stuff outside of this. I mean, they do. And, now they're expanding, and not only are they doing hats, which is what we use them most for, but they're doing cups, they were doing gloves, they're doing, any kind of engraving or whatever you need.
Speaking of baseball, I saw that he was doing
baseball mitt.
Yeah, that was really impressive. That looked really good that he could
has the
laser print on a baseball glove. That was really neat.
Yeah, anything leather. And then, like I said, now doing Yeti cups, Stanley cups, some stuff, which we're going to get some of those for the podcast maybe one of these days.
Be pretty awesome.
Prepcast, appreciate them, and we've been working with them for years. Like to thank Doug, who was on earlier. But, Prepcast does a great thing for the community. And, they help, the same thing. We're doing the same thing. We're trying to shed light on these kids.
And not in competition.
No,
but to further help.
Absolutely.
Yeah, promote kids and our school districts around this area and really the area of Missouri that we live in, because it is a fine place to live.
Yeah, I went away and couldn't stay away. I had to go back.
There you go.
Sonic, and man, we just won't even list what they do.
Well,
Sonic does so much, for our community.
Miles that lives here, and then Josh, that's our local manager here and owner manager, and he does a great job. Josh is he supports the press box on Friday nights. He himself comes up and takes the orders, and then goes back and fills them and brings them up to the people up there to keep us refreshed and hydrated and the food that he brings and all that stuff, and just happy to do it. Yeah, I appreciate him so much.
Mid-America Live, they have been a day one, just as some of these others, and they have just, since we got this idea, encouraged it, told us to run with it, and then helped us with it. So love Doug and Curtis and everybody over at Mid-America.
And boy, I will say, there is a lot of stuff that happens around our area, and they keep us informed.
And they keep anytime I have a question, hey Curtis, hey Doug, what's going on?
Absolutely, do a great job.
Yeah, and usually by the time that he gets me a text back, it's already up on their Facebook page too.
Right.
I mean, it's quick.
It
Curtis
is.
has gotten on to me, every now and then I've written some sports stories for him, and say, hey, that's not quick enough, bud. This is news now. The Chamber of Commerce have really come on, helping us out, and they have some events coming up. So you guys help them out. Huckster's Day's coming up. They're doing a lot around town, and so we like to partner with them. Emmanuel Baptist Church, really love the partnership we have going on with them.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, CNS Graphics continuing to do things for us, and happy to do so.
And again, all the banners you see at the high school, taken care of at Butler High School, taken care of by CNS Graphics. At the football field as well, you see those banners there for the seniors and the different organizations. Obviously, CNS has done Prepcast stuff. They have done stuff for us.
Products coming out and all kinds of stuff. So we're really blessed to work with some sponsors that we enjoy working with. We will never just have a read off here where somebody gives us money to promote their product. It's not what we're in this to do. We're in this to work with people that we enjoy working with and benefit everybody. And we've been able to do that. And it's made Tailgate TV possible.
Wouldn't promote them if they weren't worth promoting.
Absolutely. And with all that being said, we'd like to thank you for watching this episode of Tailgate TV. We'll see you next month.